Hello. Okay, so today for math, we're going to switch it up a little bit and we're going to go back to practicing division. So I'm going to tell you in this video some hints that will help you as you're completing your assignment today. So make sure that you're watching this whole video. So in numbers 1 and number 2, it shows you examples of division problems with 2-digit dividends and a 1-digit divisor. So, and using an area model. So for example, number 1 is 96 divided by 8. And then it shows you an area model at the top and it asks you to pick the area model that shows the correct answer. So the way that we would solve this using the partial quotients, because that seemed to be the way that most of you like doing that, would be like this. 96 divided by 8, right? And then we have to think to ourselves, can 8 fit into 96 10 times? Remember, we always start with 10. So yes, 8 times 10 is 80. Can it go in 20 times? Well, 8 times 20 is 160. That's way too much. So we have to start with 10. So it goes into 96 10 times. Okay. So then we have to multiply. 8 times 10 is 80. And that gets subtracted. 6 minus 0 is 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. Now I have to figure out how many times can 8 go into 16. Well, 8 times 2 is 16. So the 2 comes up here above the 10 in the 1's place. 8 times 2 is 16. We subtract and we get 0. Then I have to take these two numbers up here, 10 plus 2, add them together to get 12. The way this looks in the area model is like this. Okay, so there'll be an area model there. You will see it will have an 8 on the side. It will be split into 2 parts. And on the inside, there will be a 96. There'll be a minus sign, a line for a number, the equal sign, and then a line for another number. And then over in this box here, there'll be a 16 minus a number equals a number. Okay, and then you'll notice up here, there's blanks that have to be filled in to fill in the blank. And then the answer choices, these blanks will be filled in for you. So taking what we just did in the partial quotients, rather, it's the same exact procedure. 8 can fit into 96. We said 10 whole times without going past, right? 20 was too many. So the 10 comes up here above the area model. You multiply 8 times 10, because if you remember, area is length times width. So if you think of this box in here as the total area for 8 times 10, right? Length times width, we get 80. We subtract. 96 minus 80 is 16. This 16 is what comes over here to this blank spot. 16 minus 16 equals 0. And 8 goes into 16 2 times. Okay? 8 times 2 is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. Over here, 10 plus 2 is 12. So you're going to see that numbers 1, 2, and 11 all look like this. They all have this type of area model with them. So you can solve it using the partial quotients way that I just did, or you can solve it like this by filling in the blanks. Okay, for numbers 3 through 6, it's just some straight up solving division problems. So number 3, for example, is this, 54 divided by 2, right? So we would have to start this one by saying, remember, we always start with 10. 2 times 10 is 20. Too little. 2 times 20 is 40. Okay, getting closer. 2 times 3 is 60. That's too many. 60 is greater than 54, so we can't use 2 times 30. We have to go back to 2 times 20. So 2 can fit into 54 20 whole times without going past. 20 comes up here. We multiply 2 times 20, we get 40. We subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now it's how many times can 2 go into 14 evenly? Well, if you think of your 2 facts, 2 times 7 equals 14. So the 7 would come up here in the ones. 2 times 7 is 14. We subtract and we get 0. Then we have to add 20 plus 7 and we get 27 as our quotient. Okay, so that actually is the problem for number 3. And then numbers 4, 5, and 6 all look very similar to this one. Number 7 is a word problem. So what you need to know for the word problem is that there is a total there, because you're going to see a diagram. There's a total at the top of the diagram, and it's being represented by, and it's being split into equal groups. That's what the diagram is showing you. It's showing you a total on the top, bar diagram, right? There's a total number on the top, and then you'll see there's boxes down below. What that's showing you is that there is a total number of something being split into equal parts. Each of these is the same. So when we're taking a total and splitting it into equal parts, we have to use division to find out how many are in each equal part. Okay. Number 8, I want you to know that a dozen, I want you to remember that a dozen is equal to 12. So when it refers to 7 dozen peaches, you have to find out how many peaches there are altogether by multiplying 7 times 12. And then you can divide that evenly among the pies that are there. There's 6 pies. So remember, you'd have to take the total cans of peaches, which is 7, multiply it by 12 to find out how many peaches there are altogether, and then split it up among the 6 pies. Okay, and you can use the same method that I did up here before for that. Number 9 is a review of writing numbers in standard and expanded form. So for example, if I have the number 12,384, this is standard form, right? So it's going to give you the word form. You would write it in standard form. Expanded form for this would look like this. 10,000 plus 2,000. Actually, I tried it on the computer, so I want you guys to try it too. We would take this 1 and multiply it by 10,000, right? Then we add 2 times 1,000, because the 2 is in the thousands place. Then we add 3 times 100, because the 3 is in the hundreds, plus 8 times 10, because the 8 is in the tens place, plus 4 times 1, because the 4 is in the ones place. Okay, makes sense? Okay, then for number 10 is another word problem, and it actually threw me for a loop when I looked at it, so listen carefully. It gives you a scenario where someone named Andrew wants to put some books on a shelf. So it gives you 2 different ways that he could do that. And in the corner, it tells you how many total books Andrew is working with. Andrew is working with a total of 86 books. So it tells you that he could split it up with 4 shelves with 8 books on each shelf and 9 shelves with 6 books on each shelf. He wants to arrange them 2 different ways. So what you need to do first is you need to find out how many books there would be on the 4 shelves by multiplying 4 times 8. And how many books would be on the 9 shelves by multiplying 9 times 6? And then you use those totals to determine whether or not he can fit all 86 books on these shelves the way that he wants to. Okay? I just wanted to let you know that some of the problems are a little bit different than what we've been working with, and to give you some reminders in this video. So if you have any questions about anything, please let either me or Mr. C know.